Look, here's reality. Eagles discussion, it's going to come in a big wave and it will flood your subscription box. But if I get a chance to talk about my 76ers, I'm going to take advantage of that. What is going on, everyone? I love the 76ers, and I'm so happy there's something to talk about. Before we dive into this, boom, bang, $20. You get $20 off of your SeatGeek purchase. Use the promo code BROS. Let's talk about the Sixers. Now, it's funny that there's news right now. It's not anything crazy. It's not anything insanely major, but there is news to talk about. And it's so ironic because I believe it was 2-3 nights ago, I was laying in bed watching Sixers highlights. I went back to the Boston game in Philadelphia where Jimmy Butler hit the shot and he had that 6 stare down. I know we hate Jimmy Butler now, but still, in that moment, holy hell, was that fantastic. I went back to the Brooklyn Nets series in the playoffs. I went back to Game 3, specifically, against the Toronto Raptors in Philly, and I had goosebumps. My hairs were sticking up on my arm. I had the chills. Now, what sucks is, late at night, my girlfriend goes to bed so early, she can't sleep with the TV on, so every night when I need some sort of noise, I gotta sit there with earphones in, facing the wall, watching on my phone. That's the worst part about it, but it won't stop me. It won't stop me from watching Sixers highlights and listening to podcasts about the Sixers or anything. I love it. I love it. So it's so ironic that just a couple days ago, I needed that itch, the Sixers basketball itch. Even though I know the Eagles are coming up, I needed that Sixers itch. And I was watching highlights and bang! Here you go. Here's something to talk about in regards to the Sixers. Joe Johnson had a workout. Now, so did Spencer Hawes. No way do I want to see Spencer Hawes on the Sixers. But Joe Johnson's interesting. ISO Joe, we know he can knock down those shots. I don't look at the big three as anything, okay? I know he has good stats and good numbers in the big three. That doesn't mean anything to me. When I take a look at where this bench is, and you can look at Furkan Korkmaz and players like that, Joe Johnson, to me, it's a no-brainer. I would rather go with that direction, even though I know he's older and he has a lot of miles on the tires, if you will. I understand that. But still, over someone, say, Furkan Korkmaz, it's a no-brainer to me. Right now, the Sixers have 19 players on their roster. 20 is the cap, but that's just the offseason. In the offseason, 20 is the cap when it comes to the roster. But there's someone who intrigues me more, and yes, it is Carmelo Anthony. There's been a lot of noise surrounding Melo, and Melo has been talking to other teams, but his reps have been in talks with the Sixers. Everyone talks about Melo. Oh, he still thinks he's this guy. He can't play anymore. Because of everything that occurred. There's a chip on his shoulder. An extra chip on his shoulder. He knows at this point he's not going to walk into an organization and be the Melo that he was in New York. He's not going to be the guy that plays 40 minutes a night and try and drop to 50. It's not to that degree anymore. But he has this gut feeling of just being pissed off. He's just pissed off because it seems like he's being held out of the league for some reason. If he has the opportunity, he's going to be so motivated and so determined to prove everyone wrong. I like that concept. I like that idea of having Melo coming off the bench. We don't have that many threats coming off the bench. And listen, Melo hasn't played in a couple years now. I'm not going to tell you he's going to be a monster, but he can be very serviceable over someone like Furkan Korkmaz. Take a look at the bench. You got Mike Scott, James Ennis, Matisse Thybulle, Zhaire Smith. Where else are we? You can't tell me Carmelo Anthony can't help out that bench. We don't know what Matisse Thybulle is going to be. And listen, James Ennis, he's a nice player. He's a gritty defender. He can knock down shots at times. But he's nothing insanely special. Once again, neither is Carmelo Anthony at this time of his career, but it's worth taking the shot because at one point he was a serious player in this league, and if he's only half of that, that's still very good. We just need someone to score. At times, in limited minutes. I'm all in on this Carmelo Anthony experiment. I really am. Everyone talks about the depth of this team. I still think it's bad. Is it better than what it was last year? Yeah, maybe because of how we can use Al Horford. But it's still not good. And I would take the chance on it. I really would. I believe Melo's going to be in the league this year. Because like I said, it's not just the Sixers. There's plenty of other squads that are starting to talk with Carmelo. Interesting. I'm excited for the future. Now, I'm not going to get all crazy. I told myself, bros, don't do it. Do not do it. Don't go crazy again for another Ben Simmons jump shot video. Oh, yeah, there's another one. It's surfacing around the internet. I'm telling you. I'm sucked in. I got sucked in big time. Ben Simmons with another video of smooth-looking jump shots. He looks confident out there. The stroke looks good. The follow-through looks good. Even the dribbling and the handling, it looks so good. Oh! Come on. How can you be a hater of this? Embrace it. These videos look different. I'm not going to lie to you. I see some of the shots he's making. Open gym. 5-on-5 basketball in the summer. Listen, I see that. It's processed through my head. But he's making these jump shots where I'm stunned that he can even do it in 5-on-5 play in the summer compared to what I've seen so far throughout his career. He put in the work. Tobias Harris wasn't lying. He put in that work this summer. And you know who else did? Joel Embiid. He looks cut. Lost some weight. Looks like he's in shape. He took the emotions from that Game 7 loss to Toronto and Kawhi Leonard, and he went right to the offseason with it. He was crying. He was devastated. He was super upset. And it bothered him. And he took it right into his workouts, right into the plans in the offseason. He was so determined to make a change this summer. He looks good physically. When you look at his structure, looks in shape. Just like we needed. The Sixers team is going to be something this year. I'm telling you, it's going to be something. Even little things like Trey Burke. And oh yeah, speaking of the bench, Trey Burke coming off the bench. I'm intrigued by him. It was a late pickup, but it was a good pickup. I can see him being a legitimate backup point guard. Play serious minutes. Creating his own shots. That was a late snag by Elton Brand. And a smart one. We didn't have a ball handler. Well, I guess when I think of it, it's so weird because Jimmy Butler was that ball handler when Ben Simmons wasn't on the floor. But when it comes to serious backup point guards, we didn't really have that. We moved the ball around in different ways. Sometimes Tobias would bring the ball up. And I'm so in on Tobias this year. He's got a different role. He's the guy. We committed to him. There's no Jimmy Butler here to be an alpha. He's the third guy now. Like, he is legitimately the third guy outside of Ben and Joel. And he's playing the small forward position. Oh, I'm so in on Tobias. I can get hype all the time thinking about this. I was watching a piece on NBC Sports Philadelphia about Al Horford and everything he can do and the positives he can bring. And just this defensive intensity as a whole with this basketball team is going to be elite. But Al Horford as a big man, the passing ability, the way he can pop. Oh! That move was so great. I remember watching Jimmy Butler leave. See the Woj bomb? Are you serious? 2 seconds later, bang, Al Horford signs with the Sixers. Oh, we're in business. The defense on this team is going to be insane. We watched the Toronto Raptors win the championship because of defense. We're going to have that type of defense. Josh Richardson. I mentioned James Ennis. Now, he had some quotes out there. We will see Ennis the Menace this year. Hard-nosed player. Knock down some shots. Guard anyone. He will hang his hat on defense, which is great. And I mentioned James Ennis a little bit earlier. I think he is a dog. He's a good player off the bench. I don't think he's anything crazy, though. He doesn't move the needle for me. But when it comes to defense, he's going to be insane. He's going to be annoying. He's going to be a pest. That's his value. When I compare it to how Carmelo Anthony can help this bench, well, he's a different type of player. Completely the opposite, actually. Probably not much defense at all, but can score. Well, okay, we can use both. Joe Johnson's a little bit older. He's almost touching 40. Either one of those guys, though, I'm all in on. If the alternative is Furkan Korkmaz. And we can make moves in regards to getting this roster down to what we need. That wouldn't be a problem. That's something we can totally handle. It is funny how excited I am, though, before Eagles season. It's odd. It's odd because I'm so used to the process. I'm so used to the Sixers being irrelevant for so many years. I never anticipated a Sixer season to the degree that I'm anticipating it now. We don't even have Eagles football yet, and here I am watching highlights of the 76ers from last year for goosebumps. Normally around this time, you look back and you watch the top 100 plays of the Eagles 2018 season. You do stuff like that, which I do that too, honestly. But to fast forward for Sixers, I think I've mentioned this before. It's a weird mindset. The Eagles are the most important to me, but the Sixers are my favorite. If that makes sense. Most important, Eagles. My favorite, Sixers. Because when Sixers basketball is good, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it.